All right, welcome back everybody. So this week we're going to take a look at the Apollo Precision 5 with the pressure pot set up, shooting a high viscosity material. Let's get to it. All right, so we've talked about the Apollo Atomizer 7700 gun, but we haven't talked about the turbine unit. So that's what I want to do this week, and I want to show you some of the features that I really like on this unit, and then we're going to spray some stuff, and we're going to look at a B cap versus a high solids cap and what kind of difference it makes. And also I'll talk a little bit. This is not their pressure pot, this is one I had, and I'll show you how I have it hooked up, and we'll go through this thing. Let's get to it. Okay, so this is my pressure pot set up right here. It's a Binks 80. I just had it laying around, so I thought I would use it for this demonstration. And all I did was I put a quick coupling on it, and then just put a 1/4 inch female on here, and then you got your male 1/4 inch there. And then all you do is just plug in your air hose from your compressor, and that's pretty much it. And then you can set your gauge and your pressure here. So that's how you hook up the pressure pot. Now I do have a 3/8 line going to the gun, and the reason for that is that they have found that that helps with the higher viscosity materials. All right, so let's take a look at the turbine itself. All right, so let's take a look at the unit itself here. It's a metal body, and it has an automotive grade filter on both sides. You have your bleed port on your side, and then you have a quick coupling to put your gun on, which is really nice, so you don't knock it over like I do and bust your cup or whatever. But my favorite feature is this right here. It is a place where you can see how many hours you've used it, so that will help you with your filter change outs. And also it shows you how many PSI that you have on the system. Now I'm going to turn this up and down, and you're not going to be able to hear me, but then I'm going to plug it in and pull the trigger, and I want you to watch what happens with the pressure drop on this. And then I'm going to show you another unit in the pressure drop. This unit has less pressure drop than any of the other turbines on the market. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you're going to get more air, better atomization out of it, because the pressure drop is less. So I'm going to turn this up and just kind of show you how this works. Now this thing also has an idle mode on it, so whenever you haven't used it for a set amount of time, it will go into an idle mode to keep the engine, sorry, not the engine, but the motor cooler, so that you get a longer life out of the system. I'm going to turn this up, and you can see the dial, and it's going to be kind of loud, so I won't be able to talk over it, but I'm going to show you kind of what happened. So as you can see, you can really dial this thing in. You know, 3.6, 3.7, I mean, I can dial it in to whatever I need. So at the highest, it's running at 8.2. Let's go ahead and look at this thing, and I'll show you how you kind of set up to get your fluid running through your pressure pot. Now I already have this set up, but I'm going to kind of show you what I went through to get there real quick, so that you have an idea. Okay, so what you first want to do is put water in the pressure pot, and then turn it up to 10 or 20 psi, get your water flowing through it, and then you want a good stream coming out with about a 6-inch arc on it. So I got my material flowing good like that. And then that's pretty much it. Then what you want to do is put your air cap back on, and then you're ready to shoot and adjust your turbine. All right, so what we're going to do is, because we're shooting a high viscosity coating, we're going to be shooting the Renner 1062, and this is for a job I'm working on currently. It's Blustery Sky from Sherwin-Williams, and I'm going to show you the atomization and the difference between the B cap and the B cap high solids and what this thing will do. All right, so I have the B cap in, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shoot here, and then I'll shoot the high solids, and then we'll zoom in and we'll take a look at the difference. So 1.3 machine all the way up. Okay, so hopefully you can see this on camera, but with the high solids cap, you can tell that you're getting better coverage in the center as it feathers out. This is very splotchy, even in here in the center. So when you're running those high viscosity coatings, you know, that's what you're going to be looking at. Now let's zoom in and we'll look at the sort of the feathering out of it. It's not a huge difference on the outside. This product could honestly be thinned about 2 to 5% and would give us a little bit better atomization. Okay, looking at the high solids cap, you can see that we've got a nice full pattern here in the center, and then as it feathers out, you know, we're a little bit splotchy here. I would like to tighten that up, and the only way you'll get that is to reduce the material some with this. All right, so we move down here to the B cap. You can see how our center is not as full all the way out. We've got sort of a middle part here, and then it's fanning out, and we have the same atomization out towards the edges. So just to give you another look through, so there's the B air cap, and then move up, you can see the C air cap. You can see how it's just much more consistent in this center part of the pattern versus this one, you know, just not as good a coverage. Okay. So let's talk about pressure drop on these units. So what I'm going to do is basically turn this on, and then I'm going to take it to various settings, and I'm going to pull the trigger, and you can see how many PSI that it drops here in the display. And then I want to show you a rig that I made for the other one, for the Titan 115, and I want to show you the pressure drop on that one. All right, so let's take a look at this one. All right, now what I think is interesting about that is that you really only start losing pressure when you get over 7 PSI. All right, anywhere in between that is it will hold its pressure. So at 6.5 PSI or below, it's going to keep a consistent pressure on the machine. All right, now I'm going to bring my Titan unit out, and we're going to take a look at it real quick. All right, so this is my pressure gauge set up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm going to show you the pressure drop, and then I'm going to put it on the high setting, and we'll look at that. All right, so this is the low setting. 6 PSI when it's in full mode, and when we pull the trigger, we're only getting 4. Okay, now on the Apollo unit, remember when we had 4 and we pulled the trigger, we stayed on 4. All right, so let's look at this on high. All right, so basically what we have here is that we have at full power, we're getting 8 PSI to the gun, and then we're getting somewhere around 5.5 on the trigger pull. On the low setting, we're getting 6 down to 4. So let me give you my final thoughts on this. All right, so what's my final thoughts? Well, I got a couple things that I want to say. One, I like the pressure readout. And what I want to say about that is that there is no pressure drop until you get above 7 psi. Now, I've also tested a couple other units, and you're getting pressure drop with those. So this is the only turbine I know on the market that you're actually getting whatever it says you're getting back out of it, if that makes sense. So if it's saying 4 psi, when you pull the trigger, you're getting 4 psi. Now on the flip side, the Titan, what you're getting is you're getting 6 psi drop. Okay, so it's supposed to be an 11 psi unit, which all these units are measured from the outlet. So there is going to be drop through the hoses. So this one has less though than the Titan. So you're going to get better atomization and better performance out of this. I also like the idle mode on this unit, and I also like this rugged, steel casing as well. I think it's gonna, take a little bit better abuse. Now, I've had my Titan unit for a very long time, and it works great. No issues with it, but we're here to test and see who's the better choice. I also really like the system that they've designed with this 2-quart pressure pot and how it actually fits on top of the unit. Now, I wish I had one I could show you, but it basically fits right on top of the unit. Your pressure pot slides right in here, and it has an onboard compressor already on it. So if you're a mobile guy, it just makes so much sense. Now, they also have a quart system that you can add as well, and I'm going to leave a link to Apollo's website in the description below. So for me, this is a win. Now, I will say that with the high viscosity coatings, even with the B cap, you may have to reduce some. It's still not quite got enough power to push it on its own, but they do have a bigger unit that would be interesting to try with some of these higher viscosity coatings, and they're working on, I think, a 110 version of that. Now, a couple of things I want to mention. If you're interested in shooting the Hvlp, my good friend Shane Woods has dropped a YouTube channel. So what I want you to do is go over there and look at what he's doing with the Hvlp products to shoot it out of this unit. Now, generally what he's doing is a 5% LTC5 and a 5% water mixed together, and this unit shoots it beautifully. But go over there and check him out and like and subscribe on his channel. Now, also a couple things that's going to be changing on the channel for me. I'm going to be doing these things still on Friday, but you're also going to be getting a Wednesday video, like what I did last week with Brian Barosio. So you're going to get more of the test don't guess, and I'm bringing in the heavy hitters from the industry, and we are going to go through and talk about different coatings, different equipment, and I've got a really fantastic lineup coming up. Next Wednesday, you're going to get to see Harvey Zook from Timberlane Finishes on Wednesday. And also, one other thing that I'm doing is I'm going to have a feature Friday on the channel where you guys send in your pictures, and I'm going to post them to Instagram on Friday. Now, I can only do one, so I'm going to do one here on YouTube and see how this works. But here's the kicker. In order for you to be chosen for that, you have to subscribe to the channel and you have to follow me on Instagram as well. So, and I will look it up. So what you need to do is send me pictures of your job, what type of coatings you used, what type of system you had, and then also what your URL is at Instagram and on YouTube here. So one reason I want to do that is I just want to inspire others, and I really want to see what you guys are into and inspire me as well. So we're going to be doing that as well. So I hope you liked the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell button if you want weekly notifications. And remember, test, don't guess. We'll catch you next week.